Hi, students. Welcome to Virginia Tech. Welcome to the Civil and Environmental Engineering Open House event. I have a quick video to show you, and then Luis Salome and Elizabeth Konecki are both undergraduate students in our department, and they're going to answer any questions that you all may have for us. My name is Kara Latimer. I'm the Director of Advising and Student Support here in the department. Please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of this Zoom call to ask any of the questions that you would like to at the end of the video, okay? We look forward to chatting with you in just a few minutes, and we're glad that you took the opportunity and the time to spend with us today.
Civil and environmental engineers design and care for the built environment and society's infrastructure. No other engineering profession more directly impacts the well-being of people. Civil and environmental engineers are involved in the planning, design, and construction and the operation of facilities that we use every day. We are problem solvers who apply technology to create the major infrastructural components of communities, including transportation systems, structures, water supply and treatment systems, bridges and tunnels, and other public works. In fact, virtually every major industry employs civil engineers in a variety of roles. Our department is one of the largest accredited civil and environmental engineering departments in the United States. Virginia Tech produces approximately half of all BSCE graduates in Virginia. We are routinely ranked as one of the top 10 CEE departments for both undergraduate and graduate educations by U.S. News and World Report. Our faculty comprise the 6 major areas of our profession: construction engineering and management, environmental and water resources engineering, geotechnical engineering, land development design, structural engineering and materials, and transportation and infrastructure engineering. Our faculty emphasize hands-on experiential learning. We host a CEE-specific career fair twice a year to assist our students in launching their careers. Most CEE students participate in formal internships and co-op programs. We are proud that our graduates provide civil and environmental engineering leadership to the state and our profession. If you want to improve the lives of your fellow citizens and society at large, I invite you to join our mission to become part of civil and environmental engineering at Virginia Tech.
Hey, my name is Matt Hebden. I'm a professor in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering at Virginia Tech. I love civil engineering. As a structural engineer, I work to design buildings and bridges, structures that are huge in comparison to many other components that other engineers build. One of the things that I love about being a civil engineer is I get to design things that are massive, buildings and bridges, things that we see all around us on a day-to-day basis, and I get to be a part of the design of those structures. One of the reasons I chose to be a civil engineer was because I loved building things when I was a kid. When I grew up, I realized that structural engineering was simply building things on paper. And it was so much fun to be a part of a project, a huge project, that I could say I designed that.
But I want to focus on the area that I work in, which is water resources. Water is critical to both the environment and society, yet water is often not available when and where we need it. We often have too much water, which leads to flooding, or we don't have enough water to meet societal or environmental water demands, which can lead to water shortages, which affects both urban and rural communities alike. As a water resource engineer, you will construct computer models and aid in designing infrastructure and water management plans to ensure that water is available when and where it is needed.
I'm Claire White, Assistant Professor of Practice and also alumnus of Virginia Tech's Civil Engineering Department. What I love about civil engineering is that it's for the people. The American Society of Civil Engineers' first canon in their code of ethics is to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. Everything that a civil engineer designs is tangible. People use it each and every day. My area of interest is land development. What I appreciate most about land development is that we're designing places for people to live, work, and play. We can design schools, we can design outlet malls, residential neighborhoods, office complex, parks, and more.
My name is Lindsay Marr, and I teach courses in environmental engineering and also air pollution. My research group studies air pollution because it's estimated to cause 7 million premature deaths per year. It also contributes to climate change, visibility problems, and other issues. We have traditionally studied air pollutants like particles and ozone, but recently we've been studying viruses in the air, specifically how the flu transmits through the air. And we're not able to study SARS-CoV-2 due to biosafety concerns, but we have been looking at masks and how well they can protect the wearer and protect others. The way we do that is shown in this setup behind me. We have a chamber, or really just a big plastic bin, and we have a foam head on one side and a mannequin face on the other side. So what we do is we use this medical nebulizer to generate aerosols, which then flow into the back of the foam head and through its mouth. And then at the other mannequin, we have a tube in its mouth, which leads to an instrument that measures the number and size of aerosols that reach the other mannequin. So what we can do is we can generate our aerosols, see how much exposure the other mannequin receives, and then we can put the mask on the foam head and repeat the experiment. The difference then tells us how effective this mask is at blocking aerosols from getting out into the air where other people can breathe them in.
As populations continue to grow and new technologies emerge, our existing infrastructure ages, and increased climate variability disrupts society, the world needs civil engineers to come up with innovative solutions to address the most vexing societal problems. And in my opinion, there's no better place to prepare you to solve the world's challenges than the VI Civil and Environmental Engineering Department at Virginia Tech. We hope to see you soon.
Okay, that's a brief overview from some of our faculty about the department and our department head. Elizabeth and Luis, if you want to put your cameras on now, and students, if you want to put questions in the chat, feel free to ask Liz and Luis anything you'd like, and they will be happy to answer your questions, alternating, and I'm here if you need me.
Thanks, Ms. Latimer. So I'll give a little background about who I am. So I'm currently a senior in the civil department. I'm in actually my 5th year. I took a co-op last fall, so I'll be graduating in December. But I've taken all of the foundation classes for civil. So like Dr. Whittleson in the video is talking about the 8 areas of civil: construction management, environmental, geotechnical, transportation, land development. Those are the classes that I have experience in. And I also have experience in internships that the civil department has helped me kind of seek out and take advantage of.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So I'm on the same path as Elizabeth in terms of like doing a co-op. Right now I'm on a co-op break because of everything going right now, and I'm working on rebuilding an airport, and yeah, I got it all thanks to the efforts of the teachers that have focused on making great students like us excel outside of the class, and I want to focus on structural engineering and on construction. And however, I also have taken transportation engineering, the fundamental classes that Elizabeth was talking about, and also materials engineering and land development design. And the next semester, I'm planning to take the remainder ones that I'm missing. So yeah, feel free to make any questions without being shy. We are here to help.
Somebody asked, is it common for students to get into research positions in VT's civil engineering department? If yes, what do these positions look like? So great question. I actually have been involved in 3 research positions. My first one was with GIS, which is Geographic Information System. And what that was, the way that I got into it, I had a connection from another student who did research with this professor. She said that, it seemed like something I would be interested in. So I just emailed the professor and, he got me on board immediately. And it was a semester long research. I got school credit for it. So that was really helpful for filling my areas for that went towards my degree. It was a lot more hands-on, I would say, than some of the classes where I actually got to work on a project. And what it involved was using data and information to look at land development over the past few years in the Blacksburg area. So it was really cool to kind of look at the area that I was living in and kind of relate it to actual civil engineering and design. Another research project that I was involved in was in transportation. Again, this was just a connection I had from a friend through a professor. So it's really easy to get involved. You just have to be able to talk about your interests to other students and professors. Most of the professors are really, really friendly. They're always looking to get students involved in what they do in their research and in their projects. So I would say it's pretty easy to get involved. I'm also currently working in the structures research lab. So this is what I started in the summer, also with Luis. We worked together in the structures lab. And this was a type of project that was a lot more hands-on. And Luis can also talk on this too, but we were actually like setting up test systems. We were running programs and running machines to look at how structures like steel beams would react to certain pressures and strengths. So that was really cool to kind of see what the background behind, seeing bridges built, what the background research looks like. So, Luis, do you want to say anything else on that one?
And yeah, and on that structures lab, basically, you have the flexibility to decide with what's a graduate student to do research in. I got hired with one that was working on seismic design, testing a concrete slab to see how it broke and everything. And basically, there were other projects running when he had his project on hold. So that's where I managed to help Elizabeth out by working on her same project too, because oh my God, it's a really big lab and there are a lot of structures there. So
yeah, I think it's one of the biggest labs on a school campus in Virginia. Is what I was talking about with someone else who went to UVA for their undergrad and does structure work in the Virginia Tech lab because it's just very big, a lot of machinery. We have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of big projects. So it's really cool to see. All right. So I can move on to the next question. Let's see.
Or yeah, I think I can go next. You deserve a break, so I want to have some fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna tackle the one on structural engineering. So Nathan, good to hear that you wanna do structural engineering. And my personal experience regarding on the classes and on an internship I've done last summer while also doing research with Walter P. Moore. I've managed to basically work my way out of the tough path of structural engineering, because I'm gonna tell you that despite of being a tough path in civil engineering, it's a path that also helps a lot building character. Why is this? Because me as a civil engineer wanting to focus on structures, I wasn't like the best out there, but like with hard work and with determination and also with all that motivational traits that you need to have, I managed to push my way out of that and basically managed to build a lot of character. So yeah, my best advice in structural engineering is not giving up and always continue fighting regardless of how hard the class is or how tough it's going to you. But yeah, but regardless of that, I'm gonna tell you that it's worth all the suffering. because in the end, you can see all the results. All that suffering that I went through basically helped me out getting a summer internship with a really, really good company like Walter P. Moore. So yeah, the sky is the limit. So yeah.
Yeah, just to add
Thank
to
you,
that,
Louise.
a lot of the classes are very math heavy, especially structures. And I think what pushes students to get through those classes is honestly just their passion for, what the end goal is. Like, why are we learning all of this and things? If you're very math oriented, I think you would actually enjoy the class. And the professors are always there to help you, and there are TAs, teaching assistants that can help you with the workload. So it's definitely achievable.
Can you answer Mia's question about the average size of courses and the balance between lecture and hands-on work? And then
Yeah, sure. So great question, Mia. Average size classes, I would say at the beginning of starting your career in civil, the classes are a bit larger. I'd say between 50 to 100 people in a class. And I'm mostly speaking on like the intro to civil class because that was a very large class. I think about 100 to 150 people. But everyone kind of gets to know each other, so it feels a lot smaller. We're a pretty close community in the civil department. And I would also say as you start to get more focused into your discipline, the classes get a lot smaller. So the one-on-one interaction with your professor gets a lot more interactive. So you can reach out, talk to your professor before and after class or go to office hours. But I would say you're always kind of able to do that throughout, your sophomore to junior year of being in civil engineering. And to answer, I guess, the second part of your question, what's the balance between lectures versus hands-on work? A lot of the classes are lab classes, so water resources, fluid mechanics, geotechnical. We tie a lot of the coursework with hands-on experiments, so we can actually see it right in front of us, like what we're learning in class, like how does that tie into the field work. One of my favorite classes was measurements, so we got to use a lot of the tools to measure the space around campus. So if you're not familiar with the campus, we have something called Duck Pond. We actually did like a survey layover of that entire area using the tools that were available to us, and a lot of that tied in with what we were learning in the course.
So I guess I will start answering the question of O'Neill. So yes, there are undergraduate scholarships, and also there are internship programs in the United States and also abroad. Last fall, I was involved on a research study program that was focusing on going to China right before all this coronavirus business started, and it did not end up happening. But yeah, that's one of the programs that occurred, and also there are internship programs, and also right now I'm involved on building the Ronald Reagan National Airport. We're building a Terminal A and the South General Aviation Terminal. So we see a lot of famous people down there. So Elizabeth, do you want to answer some questions right now?
No, I think you covered everything.
Yeah, certainly.
I did see a question about traveling abroad and internships. I did type in an answer for the traveling abroad part, but to speak on internships, Virginia Tech has a lot of opportunities for students to gain internship experience, which I think has been the most useful program that the civil department has offered. We have one that's specifically for civil engineers that's held every semester. There's one in the fall. That's actually coming up. It's next week, and there's one in the spring. And I can't speak for the other majors, but that's kind of the place where I've had a lot of success in talking to professionals about opportunities for me to work and kind of gain that experience that is used to find full-time jobs post graduation. Yeah, go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, and in addition to what Elizabeth said, we also have the flexibility to go into another fair, which is a construction fair. So if you guys are interested in building construction too, you can also have a lot of opportunities there. Both of those fairs are really great places to go and to be making connections and also finding internships and jobs that can help you in the future.
Yeah.
Elizabeth and Luis, can you speak to the number of students in classes per year and how you feel about that?
Sure. So you join the civil engineering program your sophomore year. And that year you'll have classes in a wide range between 50 to 150 students. It's usually bigger because everyone's taking all the same classes. But then as you get into your upperclassmen classes, those classes tend to be a little bit smaller because everyone's kind of moving into their focused disciplinaries. And as was mentioned in the video that we watched, there are 8 of them. So there's construction management, structures, transportation, land development, geotechnical, materials. I'm probably missing a few, but there are a lot of routes to take within civil. And I would say you're always able to talk to your professor. Your professors are very, very easy to contact if you need help with course material. They're easy to talk to about, where you want to go with your career, and they're a great resource for being able to, look at what opportunities are available to you. Through my professors, I've gotten opportunities for internships, for research, and the class size has always been very manageable. I'm actually very close with a lot of the students in my classes, so it's never too many people that you can't, talk to anybody or get help with homework or talk to your professors and be close with everyone.
And also the lab section, they are also really good because they are one-to-one, and you can basically, if you guys basically feel stuck on an assignment, which till the day, regardless of if I'm a high class, like an upperclassman student, I'm still having that problem a lot, and the TAs and the teachers are really reachable, and they can help you out. They solve any problems that you have in class because they're really friendly and they all want you to succeed. So
yeah, I would say for class numbers, your junior year it's between like 60 to 80 students, and then your senior year it's like 30 to 45 students.
So what do the two of you do for fun when you're not studying or being an engineer?
So Blacksburg is a great area for recreational activities. So I go hiking a lot. I non-COVID times I would go downtown to the restaurant areas. There's a lot of great food.
There's a lot of things to go to Blacksburg. Games are a big one. One is happening right now, and also hiking. The places in hiking in Blacksburg are really beautiful. I would highly recommend you guys to go. Also, you guys would be surprised. You have for all the fitness people out there, you guys have you should be happy because you guys have a lot of time to go to a gym if you organize yourself right. You can go and have fun and play basketball with friends, soccer, baseball, if there are any baseball guys out there, and all the sports that are out there. So,
yeah, intramural is also a big activity on campus. I was involved in a lot of intramurals for soccer, for flag football, a wide range of them. They also have water polo, even battleship, which I've never done, but it was really fun to watch. It looks like there's another question that popped up in the Q&A. Luis, do you want to talk on this? Are there co-ops available for civil engineering students?
Yes, there are co-ops available. The thing that I like about co-ops is that the competition that you guys have with other students is less smaller, because a lot of people want to go and they have internships in the summer when they're free, right? So I've taken this opportunity that, of doing a co-op right now because yes, there's a lot of competition and also, but like there's more chances that the company or the recruiter looks at you. So, and Elizabeth also, she can speak because we are both on the co-op part of the spectrum of civil engineering because we have both done some co-ops. So
Yeah,
Elizabeth, you can.
I did a co-op last fall for an entire semester in the DC area, which was a great experience. I think it gave me some time to kind of think about what career path that I want to take within civil because it's so broad. It's kind of hard to choose. But it gave me some real world experience and really helped me enjoy my classes more. It helped me kind of relate a lot of what I was learning in the field to the class material, which was very satisfying, very fulfilling, and definitely made me a lot more passionate about what I'm doing and definitely solidified, the reason I'm doing this.
And if you guys feel like no, a co-op is like will make me fall behind, there are always classes that you can take in the summer, in the summer term, or also in the fall. There are some classes online, so you can try and level up your plan of study to not fall behind, and also get that experience that will make you look good and will build a really good, solid resume that will help you land a good future job in the future in the near time. So,
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, do you want to answer Joe's question?
Yeah. So Joe asked a question: what is your favorite project you've worked on? That's a pretty difficult question because I worked on a lot of projects and they all were very fun, very they got me a lot of experience in working with different software and different areas. So one of them I would say that every civil engineering student works on is something that is a project within the measurements class. So that's a class that you take as a sophomore with one of our professors, Kevin Young, who is one of my favorite professors, and everybody takes him for a class. But one of the projects that we work on is we're using TSIs, which is a survey tool, to create a topographic map of Duck Pond, which, if you're not familiar with the Virginia Tech campus, is just an area on the campus that's pretty hilly. But we get to create this map from scratch using different tools that later we can kind of talk about in like internships and things and interviews about how we know how to use these tools. But it was really satisfying to see what we could see in person down in like a design type file. And we got to use AutoCAD, these survey tools. So it was really kind of fulfilling, a very fulfilling project.
And students, if you're not sure what surveying is, if you've ever seen or passed some construction workers and they have a big tripod looking thing and they're looking through it, that's the TSI that Elizabeth is talking about. So you might pay attention to that now as you're passing by a construction site if you weren't familiar with it already.
And I'm thankful I took that class just to like finish what Elizabeth said, because right now I'm getting like to use that a lot on my internship and to build the airport in DC, the Ronald Reagan Airport to be more specific. And what I like of this major a lot is that there's a lot of going out in the field. If you're like the kind of person that likes to also like go out and like and enjoy the day, you also have the opportunity to work outside while there's also like a nice day outside. So
yeah, it's very hands-on. It's not just sitting in a classroom listening to a lecture all the time. It's very interactive. Is creativity a big factor in environmental engineering? Will we build things how they are always built, or will we design new buildings and ways to manage environmental factors? So great question, Ariana. Luis, do you want to start off answering this question?
Yeah, so to start debriefing this question, there is surprisingly creativity in environmental engineering. I think in our major, I'm not gonna have the chance to take this class, right, because of my focus, but I've heard of friends basically taking design classes on environmental, and Elizabeth or Miss Latimer, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically you get to design and also be creative and offer like a lot of solutions to basically offer creative solutions to problems in the world, like for instance a water resource plant that is producing a lot of or not producing, my bad, throwing away a lot of water that could be used for another thing, like taking care of other communities. You can basically work on that. And yeah, although regardless if the major seems like a lot of like theory based, you can use basically that theory to be creative and also design a lot of the infrastructure you see around you. But obviously you don't get to design it because you're a rookie on the area. But as the time goes, you get your chance to get your feet wet on the area. So Elizabeth, you wanna continue?
Yeah, sure. I can't speak specifically on environmental because that is not my focus, but I will say that the civil engineering curriculum itself has taught me, if anything else, to be creative in your solutions. They try to kind of ingrain innovation into the curriculum. So thinking of different problem solving techniques rather than just like, this is the answer, this is how we've always done it. We try to be a lot more creative in that. So short answer, yes, there's a lot of creativity. And I would say that is definitely a skill that Virginia Tech has taught me and has helped me gain opportunities and internships and things, because that's what companies are really looking for, is that innovative factor into projects like that.
So students, participants, thanks for joining us today to hear a little bit about civil engineering at Virginia Tech. If you have more questions and want to talk, feel free to reach out to me directly. You can find my information on the CE website or lots of places at Virginia Tech. Kara Latimer is my name. And if you have questions for the students, just drop me an email and I'll forward it to them and they can respond accordingly. So again, thanks for your interest in civil engineering at Virginia Tech, and we hope to see you in the fall.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.